Yo, what's good everyone? Thank you for tuning in to today's video. As you can tell by the title, we are back again with yet another review. And in today's review, we are going to be taking a look at the recently released Nike Air Max BW in the Persian Violet colorway. Now, unfortunately, I am feeling a little bit under the weather at the minute, so if my voice is a little bit up and down, I just want to apologise in advance. But with that said, before we dive into the video, just like I always do, I want to welcome back all of my returning subscribers. If you are new around here, welcome to the channel. On this channel, we do release a brand new video just like this each and every week. So if you do want to keep up to date with all my regular uploads, do make sure to smash that subscribe button. Also, do make sure the bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video. If you do go on to enjoy this video, please give us a massive thumbs up, which is always truly appreciated. And if you do want to reach out to me for any reason, you will be able to find me on Instagram under ACS Sneakers. And now we've got all those formalities out of the way, we now just go ahead and get straight into the video. So first things first, before we dive into the shoes, let's just take a quick look at the shoebox. Now, because this is an OG, we do have that OG style of box. As you can see, we have this primarily red colour, and in the top left-hand corner, we do have that Nike Air branding. The last time I personally saw this box was actually on the infrared 90s. So once again, really glad to see it. Always loved that really nice retro vibe. If we then take a quick look at the label, which reads Air Max BW OG in the black Persian violet white colorway. And as always, as this is a personal pair, this is a UK size 9. Now, for me, absolutely love the fact they've gone with the OG. Unfortunately, this was taped up because of the fact that I did get this from Size, I believe. I'm on a little bit of a mini roll with them, so shout out to them for another raffle win for me. But we're not here for the box or the details of the box, so we now just go ahead and get straight into the shoes. So without any further ado, in hand we have the Nike Air Max BW OG in the Persian violet colorway. Now, just like we always do whenever it comes to an OG, before we dive into the review itself, I just want to give you guys a little bit more of a backstory for anybody that's not too familiar with either the shoe or the colorway. Now, the Air Max BW originally released all the way back in 1991 and was designed by the legend himself, none other than Tinker Hatfield. And this shoe was actually released to be the follow-up to the Air Max 90 or the Air Max 3, whatever you want to call it. And for me, some of my favourite things about this shoe actually relate to its initial marketing campaign. I was actually doing quite a bit of research about this shoe because this is, for me, the very first pair of BWs I've ever personally owned. It was just never a shoe that was something I was interested in, and I feel like it was one of those shoes that, now I'm at the age that I'm at, it's something I can appreciate a lot more than what I would have used to have done. And I think a lot of people in the circles that I move within, they're appreciating this shoe a lot more now than what we would have done all those years ago. But for me, the marketing campaign for this shoe is just absolutely incredible. Now, you do actually see the shoes side by side, both the Air Max 90 as well as the Air Max BW, and my favourite line is the Air Even More Max. So as this shoe is celebrating its 30th anniversary, it's back once again this year, and honestly, I couldn't be happier. I originally saw the review on Sneaker Jossie's channel weeks ago, maybe even a month ago at this point, and he just had it super early, so he gave me a really good insight into whether or not I actually wanted this shoe. I had to wait over a month to actually get it because of how early he actually got it, but seeing it in hand, just as a quick spoiler alert, this shoe definitely doesn't disappoint for me.
Alrighty then.
So to avoid making this video any longer than it needs to be, let's just go ahead and get straight into the shoe, starting out with the uppers. Now, the upper, for the most part, is actually primarily done in all synthetic materials. Now, on the toe box, we do have this all black mesh material, which has then been overlaid with synthetic white leather, as well as synthetic nubuck on the mudguard. The material quality, if you did see my review on the Air Max 90 Persian Violet, pretty much is exactly the same as what we saw on that shoe. If you haven't seen my review, I will make sure to leave a link above in the cards. But if you did see it, I did actually mention that the overall quality isn't really an issue. I honestly don't think people are running out to actually buy this shoe because of how good the quality of the shoe actually is, or how good the overall quality of materials are. People are buying this shoe for that nostalgic factor and the fact that you may have had this shoe growing up, a family member may have had this shoe and you may not have actually had it yourself. So I feel like the actual nostalgic aspect draws people in more than the overall quality. And I do genuinely believe that even though it's a synthetic blend, the overall quality and construction is absolutely fine, absolutely no complaints from me. And then as we do work our way further back the upper, we have a really nice shake up, as in the midfoot we do have a rubber purple Nike swoosh. I wasn't expecting it to actually be like a separate piece of material. Always love when they do that. Always adds a really nice premium factor, so once again, absolutely no complaints there. And then as we move towards the back end of the shoe, we have more synthetic materials with this perforated white leather. Also on the heel of the shoe itself, we do have that Air Max branding. Really gives it that really nice retro vibe to the shoe. But from there, we then just work our way back into the center of the shoe. Now in the center, we do have those run-of-the-mill all black flat shoelaces, and the laces themselves do sit atop more mesh material, just like what we saw on the toe box. But as we then work our way up to the top of the tongue, we have a really nice splash of purple once again, and embossed into the tongue itself, we do have that Nike Air branding. I'm not entirely sure if it's actually embossed or if it's pressed in. I've never actually seen a tongue like it on any Air Max shoe before. Really can't complain about the detail. Genuinely one of my favourite things about this shoe. But moving on from there, as we then take a look at the inside of the shoe, around the ankle collar, once again we have a really nice shake up in terms of materials, as we have this all purple mesh material on the outside. As we work our way inside, we have more purple hits on the sock liner itself, which honestly is a lot more padded than I actually expected it to be. Not sure if it's more or less padded than a standard Air Max 90, but I did actually notice that on the heel there's these little ankle pillows or little heel pillows, whatever you want to call them, which to me definitely added a really nice touch to this shoe. But my favourite thing about the sock liner, honestly, is that OG printing of the actual sizing. Really great detail. And then even further inside the shoe, we do have this primarily black insole with that Nike International branding. But as we then continue to work our way down the shoe, we do have this polyurethane midsole with the exposed air unit towards the heel. Something I did forget to mention earlier on in the video when we was talking about like the history and the heritage of this shoe is that this shoe is actually most commonly known as the BW because of the big window air unit that we actually see on the back end of the shoe.
Can I just stop you right there for a second? When people do this, I don't really know what that means.
Now, a lot of people actually use this shoe for, I can't remember the name of it, but a certain dance in places like Rotterdam, and apparently that's because of how comfortable the shoe actually is. Surprisingly for me, I actually found that this shoe is nowhere near as comfortable as the Air Max 90 or the Air Max 3, whatever you decide to call it. Even the newer renditions like the Infrareds from last year, it feels a lot more lightweight and it feels a lot more comfortable in terms of the Air Max 90, whereas this one just feels a little bit heavier, a little bit clunkier. And if I was to kind of compare it to any other Air Max, I'd probably put it alongside like the Air Max 95 in terms of comfort. It's by no means an uncomfortable shoe. I think it's absolutely fine. It's definitely a shoe that I'm going to wear heavily in my current rotation. But I was honestly really surprised. I figured with the polyurethane midsole and the bigger air unit towards the heel that it would be more comfortable. So I was just kind of a little bit surprised that it, for me at least, it just wasn't what I expected it to be. Now, in terms of the overall sizing for this shoe, as I mentioned at the start of the video, I went true to size with a natural true to size fit of a UK size 9, which would be a US size 10. And to be honest, the sizing is absolutely fine for me. When it comes to Air Maxes in general, I'm always pretty much the same size, whether it be the 97, the 95s, the 90s, the 1s. Always just stick to that size 9. It's never failed me to this date. So if you are looking for any sizing recommendations, I just highly recommend just going with your natural true to size fit in whatever you normally wear in Air Maxes. And I definitely think that that will be the best outcome for you. So continuing from there to the outsole, we do actually have that really beautiful waffle inspired outsole, done primarily in a mostly all black colour, but we do get that really nice splash of purple just underneath the midfoot with hits of white alongside that Nike Air branding. And other than that, I think we've just about covered everything that's worth covering on this shoe, so if we now just go ahead and wrap up this video. So just to wrap up this video in terms of my overall opinion on the shoe itself, to give these a rating, I'm going to give these a pretty reasonable 8.5 out of 10. For me, there's a lot to love about this shoe. A couple of things I don't necessarily love, but in general, absolutely no major complaints. This is genuinely going to be a great addition to my collection alongside the Air Max 90 Persian Violets. I do kind of feel like this is marginally better than the 90s. That pretty much is all to do with the fact that this is the OG, and you've always got to give it a few extra plus points for the fact that it is the original. But in terms of my personal opinion, that's all I really have to say. I'd love to get your guys' opinion on it as well, so do make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you have stuck around to this point in the video, I do want to say a massive thank you. If you haven't already, please feel free to smash that subscribe button. Also, do make sure the bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video, and I hope to see you all again in the next one.